Hello everybody, thank you for coming to another story time this week. We have a fun story for you today all about a farm. But before we read our story, I just want to note that Minnesota Agriculture in the Classroom, which is an organization that supplies a ton of great resources for teachers, whether you're a teacher in the school, whether you have kiddos at home, whether you homeschool, they have a lot of great free resources for teachers. They have virtual learning opportunities. They do virtual field trips to farms all over Minnesota. And they have a lot of other resources on their website for teachers as well, educators. But next week, they're doing something called Farm and Food Book Week. So from February 21st to February 24th, they will have a series of readers, people who work in the agriculture industry, and they will all be reading farm and food story times next week. So I'll put the link below for you to check it out, but they'll be reading 8 different books next week. So make sure you sign up to listen to some of their books. But our book today is called Molly's Organic Farm, one of our HDT favorites around here. There's a lot of great information at the end of this book, so I'm not going to tell you much now. Maybe you know what an organic farm is, and maybe you have no idea what that means. That's okay. We'll know by the end of the book. So, without further ado, Molly's Organic Farm, written by Carol Malnor and Trina Hunter, and illustrated by Trina Hunter. And it says right here that this book is based on the true story of Molly, a little homeless cat who charmed the hearts of everyone she met. So, based on a true story. All alone, a homeless cat rambles and roams. Sometimes she's hungry, sometimes she's cold. Each night she searches for somewhere to sleep. Whoosh! Creak! Crash! A gust of wind swings a gate open and bangs it shut. A few quick peeks, in she streaks. The curious cat looks all around. Stems shoot up, leaves cover over, plants spread out. So much to explore. It says big brown boots, away she scoots. From hiding place to hiding place, the stray cat sneaks down a row when she's discovered. Hey, we have a new farmer here, someone exclaims. Everyone gathers round to greet the new arrival to the organic farm. Let's call her Molly. This farmer's hat covers the cat. A strange scent leads Molly to the compost pile, which is full of plant clippings, pulled up weeds, and cow manure. Although smelly now, it's decomposing, becoming sweet-smelling compost. Next year, the farmers will use it to improve the soil. They want healthy soil to grow healthy plants for healthy food. Molly scampers up to the top of the pile. Ew! Sticky paws! Compost is good for growing plants, not for paws. She gives a disgusted shake. Over here it says catching whiffs. Molly sniffs. Bees buzz and zoom from plant to plant, sipping nectar. What are those ladybugs up to? Eating an army of aphids. And that praying mantis? Hunting for crickets. These helpful bugs are getting rid of plant pests. Molly has a way to get rid of farm pests too. What kind of pests do you think Molly, a cat, might get rid of? It says, a pouncing cat means no more rat. So Molly is there to catch mice and to catch rats. Following a curling cucumber vine, Molly strolls under the sunflowers. Ah, the sunflower's cool shade feels good on a hot afternoon. The cucumbers like it too. Sunflowers and cucumbers are called companion plants because they grow best when they're planted next to each other. So some of our plants have friends, right, that they like to be planted next to, and they can benefit each other when they're grown next to each other. In summer's heat, Molly's beat. Rows of corn tower over Molly. She swipes a silky wisp hanging from a bulging ear of corn. Not ripe yet, but soon. Next year, Molly's farmer friends will plant beans where the corn is growing this year. They'll sow the corn where the beans are growing now. The farmers rotate crops to different locations each year to keep the soil and plants healthy. Corn stalk sways, Molly plays. So if we plant the same thing in the same spot in our soil all the time, it can deplete nutrients faster from the soil. If we plant different things, that can help us keep a healthier soil. Molly yawns a big yawn. She stretches a big stretch. While she catnaps, other creatures keep the farm pest-free. A bird saves a tomato leaf from a hungry caterpillar, while a frog searches for bugs on a pepper plant. Can you see both of those animals? Our bird eating a worm, and the frog. Sprinkler starts, Molly darts. Uh-oh, Molly got wet. Farmer's market day. Produce stands are piled high with colorful fruits and vegetables. Shoppers meet the local farmers. They fill their bags with organic apples, zucchini, and everything in between. One of Molly's market day friends treats her to a bowl of milk. Everyone goes home happy, especially Molly. Have you ever been to a farmer's market? Might not be happening right now where you are, but hopefully soon, coming this spring, they'll be starting back up again. Molly's farm brings the community together. Neighbors chat while kids scramble among the pumpkins. My favorite color is orange, just like pumpkins, and just like Molly, laughs a little girl. Molly mingles with her friends. She loves her organic farm. Little girl giggles, Molly wiggles. A harvest moon rises full and round. Molly crouches low as a bat whizzes overhead. The hissing scream of a barn owl sends her scurrying. But Molly need not be afraid. Nighttime animals are an important part of the balance of life on the farm. What's it say? An owl nears, Molly fears. So even these animals are important on a farm. Frost brings a big change to the farm's growing season. Time to put the farm to bed, the farmers agree. Old stalks and vines are tossed onto the compost pile. A cover crop planted in early fall will protect the soil like a blanket during a long winter sleep. Day by day, Molly sees fewer farmers. Then, one day, no one comes at all. She shivers. In the flurries, Molly worries. Suddenly, she feels a warm touch. Come inside with us, a farmer says, cuddling Molly in her arms. You'll never need to roam the city streets again. And in the spring, you'll be back on the farm with all of your friends. Molly purrs. Safe from harm, Molly dreams of her organic farm. All right, so there's a lot of information in the back of this book, and I won't read through all of it, but I do want to read through this first part and then a couple of the sections. And then they also, with this book, they have an online link to some activities that go along with the book. So instead of sharing our own resources and activities this week, I will link to those down below, and you can check them out further. This is a Dawn publication. It's like this. And these books always have really great resources to go along with them online, and they have a bunch of other books on there that are super educational and fun stories to read. So this page says, Ready, Set, Grow. So we're going to learn what an organic farm is. It says, organic farmers know that everything that happens on the farm is part of an interconnected system. That's why they use methods that are gentle on nature. They create a healthy growing environment by building good soil and naturally controlling pests, diseases, and weeds. No artificial chemicals, fertilizers, or pesticides are used on an organic farm because these things can harm the soil, plants, animals, and people. Read more about the elements of an organic farm below. So that part was important. No artificial chemicals, fertilizers, or pesticides are used on an organic farm. So unfortunately, a lot of the ways we've come to grow food rely on those chemicals, and those chemicals can get into the soil, they can get into the water, they can affect other plants and animals that we didn't mean for them to, and they can even get inside of us when we eat the food that we grew with them. So we're finding out that a lot of those chemicals are not very good for us. So organic farms don't use those chemicals. So these are the parts, the elements of an organic farm. It says healthy soil and compost. We saw Molly playing in the compost pile. So they put all their organic waste, or like their plant waste, into that pile, and then they turn it into really nutrient-rich soil that they can use for their crops. Beneficial bugs, so things like bees that are pollinating, or ladybugs that are eating pests off their crops. Companion planting, so planting their plants near friends that they have that are going to help them grow better. Crop rotation, planting different plants in the same spot every year. Maybe I said that wrong. Making sure you don't plant the same plants in the same spot every year. So changing what you grow where. Animal helpers, so relying on the natural ecosystem, right? There are other animals out there that can help the farm, like the birds by eating the caterpillars. Buying locally, so bringing your produce to a farmer's market, shopping from your local farmers, getting to know your local farmers, making sure your food doesn't come from super far away so it's nice and fresh and healthy. And then community connections, right? There's a lot of community around these organic farms. And it says city farms too, because organic farms can be anywhere, even in the city. Talks about the different parts of the plant. And then I just wanted to show you, this is the resources I'll post online, but this is the real cat, Molly, that this story is based off of. Isn't she so cute? So that is our story for today. I hope that you will check out some of the resources from the Minnesota Agriculture in the Classroom website, maybe sign up for some story times this week, and if not, check out the resources for this book. There's some fun ones in there, and we'll see you again soon for another story time. Bye-bye.